Okay, Yana, first we're going to look at your swing at the beginning of the session. In preparation for this swing report, I asked that you preview the comprehensive video that covered the fundamentals of all of the positions of the golf swing. The model in that video was Grant Wade, who we have pictured here on the right. And we're going to look just at a few of the positions, not all of them, and do a little bit of a comparison and identify some missing fundamentals that you need to work on. Now, it's not important that you try to work on 10 or 15 things. We just want to identify a few things to work on now to build a good solid foundation of fundamentals. At the beginning of that video, it talked about the importance of the impact position, and it was the most critical because everything the ball does is a response to when the club hits the ball at impact. That golf ball is on the club only a fraction of a second, and so you must put the club in the right position during that moment. Everything you do prior to impact is in preparation to have a good, fundamentally sound impact position. So the first position we're going to look at is your impact position. The first thing you need to understand is that your golf swing is a circle. It's a golf circle. And where you hit the golf ball on that circle will determine whether or not you hit it solid and in the direction that you want to go. When a ball is on the ground, you cannot hit it solid unless you place the low point of your circle in front of the golf ball. You need to hit down on the golf ball. You need to hit the ball and then the ground. Putting the low point of your circle in front of the golf ball is critical. And in order to do that, you have to position your body in certain absolute ways. Let's look at Grant. His left arm is extended and it's in line with the shaft of the club. And it's tilted. It's leaning towards the target. His hands are in front of the golf ball. Where his hands are determines where the low point of his swing is. And so this position allows him to hit down into the golf ball. Also, having a nice extension allows him to have a constant radius in his golf circle, which allows him to be very consistent at positioning the club on the ball every time. One of the things that we'll work on is perfecting your setup position. Your left arm is bent a little bit, and we want to have that nice straight line that Grant has. Let's take a look at his weight distribution. I'll draw this line straight up. We can see that Grant has most of his weight on his left side at impact. This line is going right through the center of his body, right through his belt buckle. The average pro has 85% of his weight on his left foot at impact. You can see at impact you still have the majority of your weight behind that line. So that's going to make it difficult for you to consistently hit down on the golf ball. The center of your body mass, if it can get more in front of the ball, will locate the low point of that swing in front of the golf ball, which is what all the pros do and what all players need to do in order to consistently hit a ball solid. Now we're going to look at your starting position. As I said, everything you do before impact is in preparation for the impact position. So the way you set up can either harm or hinder your ability to have a good impact position. The video on the left is of your swing after we had worked on a few of the things. And so you have a much better setup position than you did originally. This left arm is much straighter, and the shaft is almost in the same line as the left arm. So that looks very good. Now another thing that Grant does in this setup is he will turn this left foot out a little bit when he sets up his swing. And your foot is turned a little bit. We might just tweak it just a little bit more, flare that foot just a little bit more. What that does is facilitate, it helps you and makes it easier to shift your weight to the left foot during the downswing. Since 85% of your weight needs to be on the left foot at impact, everything you do before impact should help you move your weight to the left side. Now, in the beginning of the swing, Grant has a little more weight on his left side than his right. You can see that part of his shoulder is on the other side of the line. Now, you are slightly closer to the left side with your body, but we might want to just move that just a little bit more. That helps position the low point of your swing in front of that golf ball. I like the fact that your hands are in front of the golf ball, just like Grant is. That's very good. Now this is a target line view of your setup position, and it helps us look at your posture. One of the things that we notice in Grant's setup is that he has pretty good flex in his knees, and his spine is tilted quite a bit. His eyes are about halfway between his hands and the golf ball. I would like for you to have a little more flex in your knees and a little more tilt in your spine. That would help get yourself in a better athletic position and be able to use your lower body to generate power. If you stand up too straight, you really can't take advantage of the larger muscle groups in your lower body to help generate power. So we're going to work on developing a much better athletic stance so that you can effectively hit the shot. From this target line view, I want to look at one other thing. I've drawn the red line here indicating the tilt of your spine, and I've put a circle around your head, and I've done the same thing with Grant. We're now going to take your swing up to the top of your backswing and compare these lines and circles. As you can see, Grant has maintained his tilt in his spine. The head is still in the circle, and his spine is tilted basically the same as it started. So he doesn't lift up during the backswing. You can see where your spine is almost straight up now, and your head is much higher now. You're basically has completely lost the tilt of your spine. So you've added a complexity to your golf swing. You have, during your backswing, you lift up, and then now you have to figure out, how do I get tilted back down before I hit the ball? Because you can't swing at the ball from this position, or you wouldn't hit it. You'd be swinging above the ball. And so you have to learn how to lift and drop during your swing. Grant doesn't have to add that little move of lifting and dropping. He just rotates around his spine, and the ball will be in a good position when he gets back to it. Let's now look at the final position, and you do a lot of good things here. I really like the fact that your back foot is on the toe just like Grant's is. That's a very good finish. You're completely turned and facing the target. just like Grant is. That's very good. Nice high finish. Your elbow is level with your shoulder. That's a very good finish. So the destination of your swing is already built in. You already kind of know how to get there. We worked on this in our first session. This video is after we did some work on this final position, and you learned that very quickly. That's an excellent position right there. Well, Yana, I enjoyed working with you in that first session. We covered a few things, and more importantly, we established some of the areas that we need to continue to work on. This swing report has helped identify some of the missing fundamentals that we will address in our next session.